Hey guys, how's it going? I've also got I've got Facebook Live set up as well, so I'm going to stop the Facebook Live stream that's going on to the group. It was just to act as a countdown for the live video here on Crowdcast. So um, if you want to join into the live video, then come on over to Crowdcast and click on the link that's in the Facebook group. I'm just going to end the Facebook live stream now, so hopefully we can get on with today. But how are you guys all doing? Who have we got here? We've got Madeline, Amy, and possibly I think Janet was on earlier for the Facebook Live. But can you guys hear me? Is the video okay? It feels like a little darker today for some reason. The picture on my screen, but let me know if it's okay at your end. Amy has had her coffee. I'm great. I hear you fine. It is a bit well. How about if let me just get my lamp on. I don't know if the light, if that's going to help at all, or it's a kind of overcast day here in London, so that's probably why it's a little darker. We all kind of live in a cave over here, so it's probably why we don't see a lot of daylight. That's for sure. But anyway, Madeline, Amy, how are you doing? Tell me about your Madeline. Tell us a little bit more about your mishap with the paper. I'm really sorry that your colouring page ripped, because it was a page that was looking really good. Amy says overcast in London. I'm shocked. I know, I am too. It's always a shock when we see the sunshine. That's for sure. Yeah, I was trying to offer Madeline some advice with the ripped paper. I think you said you'd fallen asleep and was it the coloured pencil had sort of like gone through the page or something? Because I think what I was trying to say was, if you had ripped a page, what you can do is there's a couple of things you can do, actually, different types of adhesives you can use, but you can kind of like mount the paper or glue the ripped paper or colouring page to like a firmer surface, like a piece of cardboard or even just a thicker piece of paper. And you could use things like a spray adhesive, or I actually think that I don't know what what an American brand would be, but something like cow gum, which if you don't know what it is, I'll chuck a link. I'll chuck a link in later. Madeline was just saying it's her own fault for trying to stay up past her bedtime. She fell asleep with the pencil in her hand, and she coloured all over the page with a dark green. Yeah, never a good idea to fall asleep with colouring pencils in your hand. So if that's a lesson for everyone. And Madeline also adds that the page ripped as she was removing the green. Because you were trying to remove it or rub it out. Okay, so just as well, because I don't know that I could have made it to match. Amy asks, is it a spray? The cow gum, I mean. No, the cow gum, I'm using like the old term for it. I don't think it's made from cows anymore, but I think what it is, it's like a really sticky glue, and the good thing about it is that it doesn't soak up the paper like PVA glue or Pritt stick or anything like that. It almost creates like a thin layer of cement between things. It's quite hard to describe. I'll try and draw it here, but what you'll have is, let's say you've got your this is a layer of your coloring page or your paper. Then let's say that the orange is the surface that you want to stick it to. What the cow gum is that if you spread it, it goes on really runny, and it's just an extremely thin layer. And what happens is when you try and press this surface down, it almost sets, so it kind of sticks things together, but it doesn't like soak into the page or to the paper or anything like that. Amy says, my husband says good morning. Well, good morning to your husband, Amy. I hope he's doing well. And so just to add with the cow gum, it's more of a, I can't really what the best way of describing it is. I suppose it's like, it's almost like jelly, almost like when you set jelly, it just, you can't move it. It'll just kind of stick there. But yeah, I'll try and, Madeline, is it removable? Yes, it is. So you could, I think it is possible to reposition things after you use it. I used it, I know I've got some in the house somewhere. But as I said, I'm renovating the house at the moment, so everything is all over the place. But I'll definitely remember to put a link in the Facebook group after the live video, just so that you guys can check it out. But yeah, it's like a really useful substance. It's almost a bit like when people kind of like mount things. So if you're doing like collage or things like that, or creating like a mood board or things like that, where you're cutting things out and collaging things together, it's really good for that as well. Janet just says, I've just arrived. Madeline says, my husband wanted to know who was the guy I'm talking to. Well, Madeline, you can say hello from me. I hope Steve's doing well. Janet says she's arrived and she had trouble finding how to start the video on Crowdcast. So yeah, I hope that everything's all good now, Janet. Welcome, and good to see a few of you in here now. So yeah, so I don't know if Janet, if you caught it, but I was just talking a little bit about sprays and glues and adhesives, and yeah, you know, I think spray mounts or kind of spray adhesives, I'm not a huge fan of them because they're really not good for your health. Especially if you're asthmatic or anything like that, and also it's just pretty nasty stuff because it just kind of gets everywhere. So if you ever do use any spray adhesives, just make sure you're doing it in a well kind of like ventilated area. Do it outside. But yeah, cow gum is just like another alternative if you wanted to try something else. Madeline says there's a repositional school glue that comes in a stick made by Elmer's. Cool. That sounds great. I'd love to try and check that out and see if that would be useful as well. Janet says I haven't used sprays, even fixatives. I want to try fixatives though. And do you know what? That's a really good point, because I was just thinking about that the other day. So many of you guys are now posting like amazing artwork in the group, and I love seeing stuff like that, and seeing you guys. All of your results and things that you're trying out. It's awesome to see. And yeah, I was just thinking about how you can kind of better protect your work. And yeah, I think if you do have a type of fixative to ensure that the any colored pencil work, pastels that you're using, anything where the pigment is just sitting on the surface of the page, yeah, do make sure you try and protect your work with a fixative. And Madeline just says, I was just going to ask about those fixatives, hard on my poor old lungs. Yeah, Madeline, you've also used hairspray before, she's just added. Yeah, yeah, like I said, as much as I think they're great to use to kind of protect your work, just be really careful with using them regularly, because like I said, I think if you have problems breathing or anything like that, like for me, like I get a bit of bad like asthma and a bit of a bad chest sometimes, like using sprays and stuff. So yeah, use it sparingly, and definitely wear a mask if you need to, and do this stuff outside. Like definitely don't do it indoors if you have to. Janet just adds, I'm worried that the paper will change color and go yellow. What, using the fixative? I don't think that it would, but I would say depending on, maybe you could do a test on the type of paper that you're using, or even like an old colored work where, maybe something's gone wrong, you could do it as a little test. If you're worried about the paper going yellow as well, you can get some sprays that have like UV resistant additives to them as well, so that they can help sort of prevent the paper from turning. And another thing I've mentioned before, but you can use, I think it's like acid-free, what's it called? It's a type of archival paper, basically, that you can use to protect your work. So if you wanted to layer up your coloring pages between this archival paper, it would help prevent the pages turning. And Amy says, hairspray will over time. I assume you mean turn the page yellow. I use it though because it's right here. It's true. I think it's useful and it's cheap to use. And then Amy also says, I do need to get a proper fixative though. Madeline says, Krylon workable fixative is archive quality. Cool, nice, cool little tip there, Madeline. Thank you. And as Amy adds, it's good to know, definitely. So I had a couple of things really. It was just Janet just quickly adds, I'll have to check for that brand. So I'll just wanted to just quickly talk again about how we can come up with color schemes, and I feel that sometimes I feel that it feels quite overwhelming when you have loads of colors, and I was saying how a couple of videos ago how I like to use maybe somewhere between 4 and 6 colors, but I was thinking about how we could try and limit it even more, and maybe we could even do a like a little experiment or test or something that we could all take part in today. So just like a fun exercise to try this idea out. But I was thinking about how you can use secondary colors and analogous colors as well. So if you're aware of the color wheel and color theory, I tried to do a little test here. So secondary colors. In fact, let me just start with analogous colors. So analogous colors are colors that sit next to one another on the color wheel. So in this case here, I was thinking about picking like a mid-tone or 2 colors that are quite close to one another. So like green and blue. And then in the middle, I've tried to look for kind of like an aquamarine or a blue-green color almost. So I'll try and bring this up closer to the camera so you can see it a little clearer. But I think the light's making it a little difficult. But if you can see, yeah, I've got this like 1, 2, 3 with the greens over here. I've got like a mid green blue, and then like a blue here. And then finally over here, I've got these kind of secondary colors. So the secondary colors on the wheel, if the primary colors are red, yellow, blue, then the secondary colors are the colors in between. So I've picked out a green, an orange, and a violet or a purple. Sorry, the camera's gone really fuzzy. Let me just focus it again. So what I did actually was just to show as an example about how these colors kind of work together in either harmony or kind of like clash against each other. So here I've used the analogous colors, the blue, green, and the kind of aquamarine green there to just create this little, just to color in this shape. And you can see around all of the edges, I've tried to combine them in different ways. So I've got like the green and the dark blue, and then the dark blue and the mid blue-green, and so on and so forth, just rotating the colors around, just to show you how that works together as a scheme. And in the same way, I tried it here with the secondary colors, so using that violet, that green, and that orange to just rotate around and to mix it together. So Janet says, yay, more on color schemes, thanks. I've started using analogous colors. I've heard it's good to use 1 primary color and 2 analogous colors, max of 4. And she also adds that she likes the blue-green style the best. Yeah, and I think it's just again, I think that sounds great. Definitely, using a primary color in there as well helps to kind of complement and pull things together. So I could imagine that in here having like a yellow would be really great, and likewise in here something else to kind of complement the blues and the greens. Maybe like a pink or something that's closer to a red with the blue greens. I think could be really good. Amy adds, maybe I'm getting ahead of you, but did you do that with pencils only, or did you use a blender of some sort? No, I just did this all with the pencils. So I'm just using Prismacolors today. So you can see here, let me just pick out the, that's the blue-green, the green, and the blue. And then I've got the violet and the orange, and I just decided to recycle or reuse the green for the secondary colors here. So yeah, I think what's worked quite well with the blending is just because the green's quite light, and also the kind of middle green too has been quite good for kind of just subtly blending that in. I've not used a lot of pressure, but as the kind of middle blue green has kind of moved towards the green, I have used the lighter green to kind of blend that color together. So you can definitely use your blender pencil or a white, but I find that the white makes it a little bit more creamy. And I guess it just depends on the type of colored pencil that you have, but this paper is actually quite rough as well, which is quite good for kind of catching the color on the page. So that the tooth in the paper is quite rough. Sorry. So yeah, I just thought with that in mind, if you guys had some colored pencils to hand, maybe we could just do a little experiment, because I was mentioning to Madeline about thinking about some ways in which we could try and encourage people to kind of color and just to show their work, whether it's work in progress. It doesn't matter if it's finished or unfinished. And so I was thinking about how maybe like a little 10-minute like a 10-minute challenge or a 10-minute coloring, where you could pick just 3 colors. And this was my idea with trying to get you guys to think about how you could maybe try getting a green, a blue, and a mid color between them, or even some other type of analogous colors that you wanted to try. Maybe you could try like an orange, or a red, and a yellow, something like that. And yeah, or even using the secondary colors as an idea or a starting place as well. But I just thought we could all color together for 10 minutes and just use these three colors as a way to encourage us to just do a little bit more coloring. So I just thought for the next 10 minutes, I don't know what you guys think to that, but I just thought about trying to start a little coloring challenge where we could just see how much we get done with 10 minutes. So I've just got one of my author copies of the book, so you can see how the printer's kind of messed up this part of the page, but I thought it would be quite good to make a start with this here. And Amy just says okie dokie. So yeah, if you're ready, maybe if you've got something to hand, maybe we could make a start in the next minute or so, and see how much we could get done. And the point is that it's not a race or anything like that, or even if you wanted to just color a small section, like I'm hoping to do a few letters in this page here, and just to see how this idea of using the maybe I'm going to go with the secondary colors, actually, maybe the purple, the orange, or the violet, the orange, and the green. See how they get on together. So yeah, if you wanted to just grab a few colors that you might have, and then if you've got a coloring page or a coloring book to hand, maybe we could get into it. And Janet says, I have red, orange, and orange. Awesome. Yes, it's perfect, Janet. And I hope you have a coloring page, or maybe even something that you have that you've been working on as well. Maybe that could be like quite fun to kind of make a start, or even get ahead with that. So yeah, I have no idea how this is going to turn out, so I just thought it would be fun to give it a go. So I'm gonna make a start with my with my page, and so yeah, you can see here. I don't know if you guys have a timer or anything like that, but maybe for the next 10 minutes, we can just see how much we can get done, and see how this little experiment works out. So I hope this works. I hope it's fun. But in the meantime, feel free to comment, or if you have any questions or anything like that, maybe we could maybe you can put them in the chat box, and yeah, I'll do my best to answer as I'm coloring. But yeah, I was just trying to think of more ways that we could all encourage each other to use, or even I know that it's timing for things is difficult. Everybody has jobs and other commitments and things, but I wanted to try and find a way where even if we could just do 10 minutes colouring a week or even a day, I think that it's just really important to try and make that time where you can kind of make your own work or find that time for yourself to do a little bit of colouring, which I think is really cool. Amy, great minds. Janet, I chose red, orange, yellow, orange, and harvest yellow. Nice. And Janet says, do we blend with them or do we keep the colour in separate areas? Well, I'm choosing to blend mine together, Janet, but you can do whatever you wish. Like if you wanted to keep the shapes, kind of separate to that, that's absolutely fine. But I guess just for me, I'm just such a fan of blending colours anyway. So I'm gonna give it a go with my secondary colours to try and blend them together. And I know that they'll probably clash and they probably won't blend very well, especially the using like a purple or violet with the green or the orange. So yeah, I'm just going to see what happens, and yeah, just going to try and see how much I can get done. Janet says, I have a flower to blend with these colours. Awesome. So I hope that works out. And the point is as well is what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of however much I'm able to do today, and I'm going to post it in the group as well. And I hope that it encourages everybody else to try and at least make a start and try and commit like just 10 minutes. And then it doesn't really matter as well, like whether the work's finished or not. It's just that you've made that little start to start colouring. So yeah, I hope that you guys get into it and enjoy it as well. Excuse me. And actually, another thing I thought is, again, we're joined by my cat Eddie, and she's sleeping in the corner of the room. I thought I might take a picture of her and post her in the comments as well. She's always here every week when I'm doing the live videos, but she's quite camera shy. So I'll see if she's up for letting me take a photo of her and posting it in the group today. How are you getting on, Madeline? Have you got anything to hand at all, or anything that you wanted to try? I'm just going to do a bit of subtle blending with the purple there at the top, maybe the bottom of this S. Maybe get that in as well. This time I might mix it up. Let's start with the green at the top. Just my luck as well. I think I need a sharpener for this green. It's starting to get quite blunt. She's getting a bit annoying to work with. Madeline, she's doing Sky as well. Awesome. And Madeline says, my dog is lying on my lap. That makes it a little more difficult and more challenging. You don't have to make it challenging, Madeline. What's your dog's name as well? And Amy says, my crazy basset hound is trying to bury a bone in my blanket. I just shoot her away. Well, she's a puppy. Oh, that's cool. What's your puppy's name, Amy, as well? Is it a boy or a girl? Oh, no, you said she was a she. It's cool. Yeah, my cat is she's about 1.5. She's a little rescue cat as well, which is quite small. She's daytime is always her sleeping time, so in the evening she's a little bit more active and she's running around our garden, running around the house. But now she's a little bit more sleepy. Madeline, yes it does, and his name is Mocha. Cool, very cool. Mocha, that's a cool name to say. Fan of coffee then, Madeline, I imagine. Amy adds, officially, her dog's name is Miss Magnolia May West. Wow, so she's just Maggie May at home. Cool. Does anyone know the song I was thinking of, or the singer? Sounds pretty Rod Stewart-esque to me, Amy. Is that right? Just taking a look at the time, and we're about 6 minutes in, I think, according to my timer. So I'm hoping to try and get this Y finished before the time's up. And how are you guys all getting on as well? And Amy, Rod Stewart, did you say? Yeah, is it Rod Stewart? Did Maggie? I'm not going to sing. You guys are not going to hear me sing. I've definitely not got a voice for singing, that's for sure. And I'm going to try this Y. Start with the violet. Work my way down. Janet, on to the second color only. Okay. Well, no rush. There's it's definitely no. I think this is all really about just setting your own little goals, Janet. So don't worry about trying to do as much or whatever you can manage is cool. I also know it's very late where you are as well, so I appreciate you staying up. Amy, yeah, Maggie May was the song. Not sure if it's the official title. Yeah, I thought it was. Is it just called Maggie? I don't know. I can't remember the name of that Rod Stewart song actually. I just remember the opening line, "Wake up, Maggie." So with the purple, I'm going to blend it into the. Let me think. I'm going to blend it into the green. Where's that green gone? I don't know if you guys ever. Janet says she had a nap. That's good. I'm glad you were able to get some rest. Do you guys, I was just going to say, like, do you guys ever find, with the prismas as well, because they're so round, find it difficult to it's kind of tend to roll away, which I find really annoying, especially on my desk, which is pretty smooth. So it's difficult to try and track down those pencils when you put them down to one side. Yeah, you need to get some kind of like sticky surface or a little pad or something where you can stick your pencils on. Maybe that's another idea someone could come up with. Coloring pencil invention. So just down towards the bottom of the Y. And I think there's about a minute left as well. So I don't know how you guys are all getting on. I hope it's been useful to kind of make a start on something, or even to just test out an idea. I think that's what it's all about, really, with colouring. It's just to kind of keep experimenting and trying stuff out, doing stuff that you may not have done before with it. And that's where you kind of come up with like interesting colour combinations as well, I find. And Amy says, I'm colouring a page for my calendar colouring thing. Cool. Anyway, I'm doing in my head a red roof with sunlight shining on part of it and progressively getting the darker red. Does that make sense? Cool. Yeah, it does. that sounds pretty ambitious to me. It sounds like trying to kind of cast some sunlight across a roof or something like that. So yeah, that sounds great. Great bit of shading. So that's the 10 minutes up for me. So I'm going to just pause there. But I was able to kind of attempt by using the secondary colors, just those 3 letters there from the book. But let me know how you guys got on, and if you found this fun, because maybe we could do this every week, where we take 10 minutes to just do a little bit of coloring, or even try something out. It could be good for me to kind of help me keep on track with a page that I'm trying to color in, and we could kind of chip away at it and keep continuing one page. Janet says, I'm using Lyra Rembrandt. Cool. Very nice. So yeah, don't forget to take a picture of whatever it is that you've been coloring, and I'm going to post this under the comments in the Facebook group. And if you guys are watching this back on YouTube, on the replay on Crowdcast, don't forget that every week on Wednesday I try and do the live broadcast from Crowdcast, and you can sign up by clicking the link below. And subscribe to me on YouTube as well, and you can kind of follow along the progress and the tips and stuff that are coming in every week. So Amy says, bye everyone for now anyway. Yes, and I'm going to sign off as well and say bye to you guys, and have a great week, rest of the week, and a great weekend too, and looking forward to catching up again next week. But thanks for joining in, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.